school, from understanding actually raising funds, educating teams, understanding Google, organizing a team. And also we learned that you should be cooking for your teammates. You should invite them. You shouldn't wear a shorts for going to the investor speech. And namaste, everyone. And today, here we are with Ritadeep and Chavan. And actually, we both know each other probably like close to the 3 years, I assume, maybe 2.5. Yeah. And we started our journey with Strike That Money and India charts. And Chavan actually messaged me just this week with a very kind message for saying Happy New Year. And he said that actually by using our methodologies and for Semantic SEO or overall holistic SEO, including Topical Authority, they got really good amount of traffic and they turned Strike That Money into the cash positive state. During that process, we did the launch together, but Ritadeep Roy actually learned everything about our framework and he implemented it actually successfully by training the internal teams. Then Rita was also saying that his perspective changed thanks to the actually Svalbard website and Jamal Qureshi, the owner of the website. And I say that today you will also be changing other people's perspective in a very similar way because someone will watch your interview today and they will see this Strike That Money and they will be coming to these interviews or to our community in the future as well. Before starting, I just want to show everything, just one thing, because that's important for me. I just want to show this specific pool. I will explain why it is important for us. Because whenever we have a meeting like 2.5 years ago or 2 years ago, always saying them, once these things are working and successful, you will come to the Kuşadası, Turkey, and we will do a celebration together near in this pool. Yes. And on that time, I was also in Istanbul. So the project is ready, pool is ready, and probably in September, you both will be here and we'll be doing and taking that specific selfie. And I'm hoping to. And today we will talk about actually not just SEO. To be honest, this channel audience already knows that my framework and Topical Authority overall actually works really well. But I want to also provide a value to explain, for instance, how to train people, how to show them tolerance, or how to get investment, how to evaluate a company, how to create a business strategy. We will of course talk about SEO as well, but today we are talking to one really valuable SEO and manager and also one really valuable business person. I would like to take that angle as well. And before starting the questions, Chavan and Rita, want to say anything?
To all the viewers, whoever is watching this, the only thing what I want to say is follow Koray's semantic framework. Everything, if you're an entrepreneur, SEO is a must to everyone's business. So nothing better than Koray's semantic framework. His education is top class. And wish you all, everyone a healthy and prosperous 2025.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And for me, it will be like Koray is our guru. He taught us how to think big. Before Koray, we used to think in a very linear manner. Koray told us how to structure your thinking. You have to do it holistically, as his name suggests, holistic SEO. We have to do it through technical SEO. We have to check our content. Our methodologies have to be correct. All these things without Koray, we could not have been done. The success story that we are seeing today, even he told us and he taught us some of these things, but we followed every one of his YouTube videos and his course, and then we implemented. And after 2 to 3 months, we started seeing the results. So all thanks goes to Koray only.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much. I also want to say one main thing actually. The Indian culture, I believe, is very kind and very diligent. That's why I can tell it actually. Usually also same goes for Scandinavians. These two regions understand actually what I do way earlier than other regions. When I say Indian, I also include Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, and some, let's say, Iranian region as well. The best SEOs, I believe, are in this region actually, and best developers, engineers, and let's say strategical minds are really in this area. I wish actually Europe and US can take an example from there as well. Okay, so let's start with the questions. First question I want to ask actually, how did you come up with the idea of for Strike That Money? Where did it start, for example, during a dinner, or what was the specific, let's say, fire moment?
Okay. So we started Strike, thinking about Strike in the year 2023, Jan, Feb. So initially what happened was like my CEO, who is Rohit Srivastava, we used to maintain a lot of data, market data. So basically Strike is all about stock markets. So right now we are in India, so we are concentrating on the Indian markets. So Strike is just an analytical tool for traders and investors where Today data is very, very important. So Strike is all about analytical tool where traders comes, he looks at the data and he'll be able to take decisions in a market, whether to buy and sell. So there are a lot of data points which we are storing in the Excel sheet, and that is where we thought, and when we started checking all the tools in India, especially for the retail segment. Okay, I mean, we have Bloomberg, Reuters, and all, which is like very high-end systems which individual cannot afford. It goes up to
Yeah, it's true.
thousands of dollars.
Very
Yeah,
expensive systems, it's true.
yeah, very expensive system. So we thought that we saw the gap over there, and we thought, why don't we build it? We have data, we have the people, and that is where we started Strike. When we started Strike, it was not that we didn't know what to do. We knew that what to be done, but how to do it, because we need developers, we need to look at business development. That took some time. It's not that we were ready at the starting, but when it comes to Strike, we knew what exactly we need to do, and we focused a lot about design, and also the major thing in a company
is this. Okay, actually the gap, but you are not the only one who knows the gap. So
Yeah.
I asked that why others don't do it, and what was the separator there actually? I mean,
see, there are platforms in India. I'm not saying no, but it is not up to the mark even for a retail person. It requires a different way of looking at things, the data, so that it becomes easy for you to take decisions. It's not only about displaying the data, but you need to show it. You need to design in such a way that looking at the screen, he should be able to take decisions in a market. That is where we went ahead and.
Okay, so because I while creating actually your topical map, I remember that we were first going with India charts, which was
Yes.
mainly focusing on course learning. Then we went to
Course learning.
money, and in one of the
Yes.
videos I need to explain, because we need to change the source context from education to the trading. It is one of the actually real differences there. I can tell, because I remember your design and the layout. Basically, you were creating actually a kind of, let's say, educational school and also assistant, not just a dashboard. So I just want to understand this too. When you get this idea for the first time, was it night, was it day, or were you just eating? So that ignite moment, do you remember that?
It was definitely during the daytime. It was not during the night time. We were just discussing, the gaps in the market, how we can, and that is where we could let us build something. Let's start it out. We know this should be there in the system. Let's start it out at least to consume for ourselves.
Okay.
Because we are market analysts, we trade for ourselves. We have an education platform also.
Yeah.
So we thought, let us build it for ourselves. But in the next 2 months, once we started building, we really saw a gap. When we are doing a lot of R&D on the system and on the markets, we really saw the gap, and that is where we thought, okay, let's do it for the people.
Okay, so the first thing actually I'm trying to understand that you were not in toilet when you actually found this idea. Because many people say that I found the idea while I'm taking a shower, or while, let's say, I saw it in my dream. It's not like it was a very business focused moment. Okay.
Yeah, see, look, it all looks cool to say that, but honestly, running the business is not a joke. You need to do a lot of planning.
Yeah, it's like a
wrong
army,
step
actually. That's why I find military is very close to the business, because it's very real. It's very actually. I mean, you live basically a kind of, let's say, lightweight depression. Sometimes also goes actually heavyweight. When I say depression, I mean like feeling always,
it is frustration.
Frustration, or a kind of burden you always carry on your shoulders.
Yes, absolutely. And you give up a lot of things when doing this, because you are so focused on building the company. You need to have developers, you need to have sales, you need to have digital marketing team. And thanks to SEO today, as of today, if I'm sitting here, let me tell you, 35%, 40% of the revenues comes from SEO.
Really great.
And I'm not kidding. Yeah.
I was actually about to ask that. For example, when you created this plan, I believe you created a kind of team hierarchy in your mind, like this amount of, let's say, developer, designer, manager, SEO. And you knew that actually SEO would be your one of main channels, do you think? Or you realized
I never knew SEO will be a main channel, but I had met Roy by then. Roy was working in India charts in 2021, and he educated me, in fact, saying that, okay, this is what, when I recruited him as a SEO, I never knew the power of SEO, honestly. But I knew what SEO is, but I didn't know to what extent it can, bring business. So that is where Roy actually told me that, okay, this is the way. And as a company head, I believe in training my own employees to upskill their own, upskill them. So that is where, when I found you on the internet, I just told Roy, we have to work with him. This is your upskilling phase.
Okay.
Right? You need to keep on upskilling, and you need to help your employees in upskilling. When they get upskilled, today I am sitting in a very comfortable position thanks to Roy, who got up thanks to me. So this is how it goes.
Yeah, I
So,
can imagine that.
yeah.
In this case, Ritadeep actually joined to the Strike That Money since the beginning, as much as I can remember. But when exactly he joined to your team, for instance? Do you remember that? 2021? When Rita actually joined to your team?
Oh, it was in May 2021 approximately. 2021, right?
No, I think November 2021.
Yeah, November 2021. But we started Strike in January 2023. But we were working on SEO for India charts that time, before meeting you. And then once we met you, it was all about India charts. We started with India charts and then shifted to Strike.
And in this case, I believe to choose my framework and Topical Authority as one of the main strategies, it was happening thanks to the Ritadeep, I believe, since he was doing the research. So it's actually lots of different coincidences, like you find the idea, but you didn't know the SEO. Then you hired the right person like years ago before that, and the right person was doing the right research, and then all actually came together, and we are on this moment. It's a very interesting actually chain of events. Right? It's a happy one. I can tell that.
It's happy one, but we have just started. We have a very long way to go.
Of course.
Do not
This is just the beginning of the cash positive moment. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And in this case, did you have any question while choosing Topical Authority as your main strategy? Did you have any question in your mind, or did you know that actually it makes sense at the beginning? Was it easy for you to grasp when Rita explained it to you?
No, I'm not a SEO expert. Okay, I have to believe in my team. And when Ritadeep came to me and expressed this, okay, we should be doing this. I truly believed in him. And then I said, let's go ahead. Let's do it, because I'm not an SEO expert. I'm a management guy.
You give the control basically to your manager, and you take the...
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when did you see the first positive increase in your rankings? Because I remember that even if you publish your documents, we had to wait like maybe one core update. And it's something that I always say. Because I remember that the traffic came suddenly, even if you published like 3 months earlier than that. Rita probably remembers it better. And let's say, how would you explain that process, Rita? Because many people think that the moment that you publish, it will directly happen. Maybe you can explain that process to them as first person.
Yeah. So what happened? We started producing this content around June, and in August the site went live. We started pushing content. We almost pushed 111 blogs to the website, and we didn't do anything. We seated there. The graph was increasing very slowly. Then came our December thing. On December, we see that suddenly from around 100 clicks, it went down to around 700, 600 clicks per day. And from there, basically, we didn't stop pushing the content, and we keep creating new nodes inside our topical map. So we started with one node. We created 3 new nodes and started publishing content around that same topic. And that's how it actually grew to the next level. But again, after I think around February 2024, again, it started going very slowly. The increase was not as much effective as it was happening in December. So again, when I waited, we didn't change anything. Our plan was solid. We know that it will grow. We didn't do anything. We just created new content and started pushing it. Again, we saw the result in October 2024. Suddenly, the website was getting impressions for the queries, which we added last 3-4 months back. And from there, it didn't stop. It continued to grow.
So the thing is, you actually explain here what I call positive ranking state. That's one of the things. If you are in the positive ranking state, even if you break the website, it will continue to keep increasing its rankings until there is a major update. Second thing that you actually explain there is historical data. The rankings that you get today comes from actually your historical data from 4 months ago. So that's why when you publish these things the first time, Google actually will need to process that content, evaluate it, test it, trust it, and then they will actually continuously increase your rankings. And sometimes if there is a major update, they will replace you with another previous website that was actually ranking. In your topical map too, actually, I didn't show your website actually in Chiang Mai, but I explained this from a different different websites, the most important attribute in your topical map is actually type, I must tell it. Because types of trading charts especially. Because when you get the historical data from there, it's very easy to distribute that authority to the previous or individual node. So there are some strategies or weights there as well, but anyone who wonders, the SEO site can actually go to the case studies anyway. So I just want to focus on your journey actually mainly. So may I ask to both of you, what was the hardest thing for you to explain your team or implement? How many people maybe you fired? How many people you wanted to maybe beat? What was the process psychologically?
Writing rules was the most hardest thing.
Yeah.
And it was even more hard to find writers who can understand the rules.
Yeah.
So we almost fired 6 to 5 person in this process, and we tested numerous writers, like 10, 12 writers we tested. In the end, only 3 people stick to us, and they started to write content. That's why we were very slow in terms of publishing the content.
Yeah.
And believe me or not, everyone in our team is a freelancer. So the struggle to manage them and get a timely delivery is huge. Even every article has to be checked by 2 guys. One editor will check, then from our SEO team we will check. Still, there will be some issues which we could not rectify. That's why we are coming back to the articles and again checking everything, and again we are doing the information gap analysis and publishing. That's why we saw that yes, it has a positive effect to the whole process. Yeah.
Do you agree?
See, especially in India, to get content writers onboarded is very difficult. Everyone wants to work freelance. And when they come on freelance, they work at their own mercy. They work at their own will. So this has been a little challenge for us. Yeah.
And okay, I remember actually Arjun. He was doing actually fine. Is he with you still?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
He's the only one who
invited to school as well. I just want to say while he's recording. And
he just got. He's on a break.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why he's not here.
Yeah.
And I also want to ask, usually when I actually explain my framework or topical authority, people usually think that everything is about actually just a tag. But with you, we actually work on technical SEO too. And we also work on page rank. We also work even your website name. I remember that. Even your domain extension is not an coincidence. We have chosen it together to create some relevance there. And there are some, actually there are many other things there, like page rank distribution or your response time, many things actually we work on. I remember that we actually put some, let's say, KPI to keep up with, from your design point to the above the fold area and your many other things. Would you like to actually explain that misunderstanding to the many? Because many think that I will just publish content and everything will actually be perfect, but there are many other layers to make the topical authority actually work.
Yeah. While you talk about topical authority mainly, but I have seen your Trello dashboards. So the number of technical SEO related things that are there, I think you can call yourself a technical SEO expert along with your topical map expertise. So again, the hardest part is not reading your guideline, but to implement it with our website developers. So
I remember my developer saying, "Who is this crazy guy who is giving all these points?"
So when they used to tell who is the crazy guy, I will point to Koray. And when
yeah, it's actually something I always say, because to help companies to implement this, I always need to be the, let's say, the god to blame. I accept that, because other way the internal teams have a kind of infringe or a kind of angry moment when I say that I am the guilty one here. Just blame me, but we have to do this, and there is no other way. I mean, it's good to see that actually, like the team eventually actually were able to manage it and handle it, and it created this result. It really makes me happy to see this moment actually. And I want to ask actually both of you, especially you, Chavan, actually, because I asked this to Jamal Qureshi as well. What was your first job?
Oh, I started my career as a software guy, developing softwares, and I started my career back in 2007. So till 2019, even though I was in markets, I used to invest, I used to trade while working. I got into full-time trading in 2019, and along with that, I joined India Charts, who is into markets. Rohit Srivastava is the CEO. So I joined him in 2019. So before that, I used to implement treasury and risk management softwares to major Indian banks. So I come from a software background.
I remember Rohit because we were trying to turn
Yes.
into an entity. There are some other things that, of
Yeah.
course, we don't give every detail here. But I remember
Yeah.
that name. Usually, I don't remember especially last names in Indian language
Yeah.
much.
So, yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that one, I can tell. And your first job,
Yeah.
Rita?
In 2017, I joined a private bank in India. It was one of the largest private bank. I did it for 2 years. Then I quickly got to know that this is not the right calling for me, and I got into SEO. And why I stick to SEO, there is a reason behind it, because you always have to find something which you are good at, also where you can make money. So this is something I am naturally, I think I can do some of the things which my competitors cannot do. Also, I can make some money. So that's why I stick to it.
To know that. And I want to ask something. Sometimes in the SEO, as we also experienced, results come after the Google actually process and test the web pages that we create. And how do you explain this to the investors? First, actually, how do you explain this to Chavan as Rita, and how Chavan explain this to the investor? Because in SEO, people usually focus on ranking, but there are lots of psychological chains between departments that keeps going. So first, Rita, how did you explain to Chavan? Then I will ask Chavan, how did you explain it to the investor?
Now I'll tell you what happened.
Okay.
When I hired him, I used to call him every day how many clicks per day. And he used to go bonkers over it. I mean, see, as a management guy, we expect everything to happen fast, right?
I know.
Yeah, we want money tomorrow. So I was like behind this guy. Okay, why the how many clicks? When are we going to get everything? And then he made me understand how patient I should be. And then I started reading about SEO, and then I came to know the power of SEO, and that is where I thought, okay, I need to be a very patient guy. This is going to be a long term. It's not going to be a very short term solutions. But if I stand for the next 2 years, I'm going to reap the benefits for the next 15, 20 years, right?
Yeah.
So that is where even the management guys has to understand who's implementing SEO. You need to have a lot of patience. Nothing is going to happen overnight. You need to believe in your team. You need to believe that SEO is a must to everyone's business, but it's going to be a long-term solution. Nothing is going to work in short term. So this is one lesson I want to.
Did you explain
Roy
this to the
speaks.
investors in the same way? Did you say the investors also like we have to wait? Because I am sure that the person who gives the money.
Initially, when we started Strike, and when we started implementing SEO, we were bootstrapped. We were not funded. So by then, our SEO had grown, and showing the numbers on SEO, some people had actually invested. Okay, this is something really good. Believe me or not, I've shown this graph
too. That I really want to complete that project still. Actually, I really love Jamal. We increase the traffic increase the sales. We convinced Jamal convinced some investors, but there were lots of other details there and we couldn't get the investment on time. But I'm glad that actually you were able to get it thanks to the SEO numbers, which makes huge sense actually, because if you are able to bring the audience, the rest is just actually organizing web pages and showing a pop-up and CTR calculations. It's actually way easier. So would you define SEO as a way of building actually basically companies, basically you are able to talk to the investors with a higher confidence, right? You are able to tell people are already here. We just want to build the product and we need this from you. And it makes things easier, I guess.
Yes, definitely. I mean, it is going to be easy for me to show it to my investors now. Usually investors, especially the big guys, the VCs, they expect everything to happen overnight. So what happens is the moment you speak about SEO, they're like, no, this is a long-term solution. I'm looking at it as something short-term. I want your business to run in the next 3 months. But luckily for me, when I went to the fund, when I went for investments, my SEO had already grown. It was in a good, it was already the vertical, this one was going on. So in that way, they were absolutely convinced that, okay, I'm here to stick for a long term, and that is where I've chosen SEO as my long term solutions rather than blowing the money on Facebook and Meta ads and everything.
I say this like for the last 4 years. Many people in SEO, unfortunately, will need to leave the SEO because they have an attitude for money grabbing. They don't have the concept of slow money or building assets, and they are. I mean, that's why most of these content site owners are leaving currently, because they never created a product. That's one of the major differences. You created a product first, then you focus on SEO. They just want to take the traffic to send the traffic to the product owner. But if you don't have the product or the service, you are just the middleman, and Google doesn't need you that much. And in this case, I want to ask very, let's say, psychological question, because every business has something we call burn rate. And SEO is long-term, and it's the main channel. So it means that actually when you are bootstrapped with your own funding, without external funds, it means that every day you are burning the money, which means the company is coming to a negative end. But at the same time, you know that SEO will work in the long term and will bring you enough level of traffic to convince the fundraisers or make enough level of sales. So don't you think that actually it is a little bit, let's say, a risky math exists there? Or how would you play with that risk in the best possible way psychologically? Because many people can't handle it, in my opinion.
Yes. And even we couldn't handle sometimes, it was a very tough situation because we were actually burning money, that time, because SEO is a small thing and we focused on SEO and also social media, even though our social media was actually not performing. Our team was not so great in terms of social media. So somewhere, it was very difficult times, it was, sleepless nights, definitely. But somehow we stuck to it, ultimately during tough times, if you give up, there's nothing much you can do. You have to you have to believe in your product. If your product is a market fit and you have that grit and determination to hold on, definitely it is achievable. And it was not that it was smooth, let me tell you. We have faced some very difficult times building this, but we stuck to it, and we thoroughly believed in it.
I wanted to ask this question especially because, in my opinion, at least this is my personal opinion, but I believe the SEO industry overall is not that matured. They think that everything is like a game sometimes, like playing game, and I created this website like overnight, and if you look at the YouTube thumbnails or YouTube video titles, like I rank in 24 hours. I just ranked like that, or all the thumbnails are like this, there are monies around it. It's not on my channel at all. I just want to show people that this ugly side a little bit. That's why I wanted to ask that. And again, I want to ask you one thing about business management. In my opinion, this is an external opinion. You are a very friendly person, Chavan, and you are also loyal to your employees. I have seen that, because even if the time was really hard, you kept people. Even if it causes you to actually burn more money, you were cold, you were friendly, you were like their parents, basically, in my opinion, and you were supporting them. I believe that is also something that people should pay attention, because it's not something to get after you born. I believe you're born with these traits, like with genetics, maybe from maybe mother or father. I'm saying this from bottom of my heart, actually, because I observed these things from outside. And also the same goes for Rita. For instance, he could also find another job easily, but he also stick with you and continue all these stressful days. I believe the word company basically comes from military term. It means a group of people who stick together, and that actually at the end of the day actually made this positive moment, and it's meaningful, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. The core team who was there when building Strike 3 years back, they're still there and they'll always be there. That is the confidence what they have on me. That is the confidence what I have on Roy. That is the kind of relationship what we have built. And every entrepreneurs, should understand that they cannot do everything. That's the most stupidest thing they can think of. You need a team, and the team will take you forward. And you have to believe in them, trust in them, and allow them to work. You cannot keep on, going behind them every now and then. You have to have that core team who is going to help you build, and of course you have to make sure that they also grow together. When they grow, so for example, I don't want to speak about the numbers here, but I'm sure Roy is happy with his growth in India chart. Last 3 years,
he's even more handsome. I'm joking. You were handsome before too, but I just mean that you have a better energy right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So team building is very important. Very important is you have to trust in your team, and you need to have good members, and no better than Roy and the rest of my team, who's not involved in the SEO, but, development head or the product head, we all stuck to it. We are all here, after 5 years when we have the interview again, that time also I'm sure Roy will be there.
I'm also sure about that. And by the way, for the audience, if both of you, if you want to have this stage in my Istanbul conference, I will be happy to give the stage. You have the true experience rather than seeing always same people, same names without a, let's say, concrete success. I would like to see business people and SEO managers like Rita on my stage with all the honesty and the talent. I must tell that. And
my only concern is I don't have a great body. I don't have a great body to swim. this one.
Nobody
Yeah.
needs to have that actually. It's completely okay, brother. You're also good in shape, to be honest. I can tell it. Don't say.
I'll be working on it now onwards. September is, I mean, still time is there. Yeah, go on, Koray. Yeah.
Okay. And I want to explain a concept that I call source context, which I explained earlier. From India charts to the strike, we did some changes in the internal links or a topical map. So because when you have a company and a product and the business model, it has to align with the query and the real meaning of the query. It also requires the business owner to actually perform a kind of audience research. So when you actually create a Saas, and when you want to evaluate it or value it, did you do any demographic research? Like there are these amount of traders in India.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing that actually I really wonder in this case, because how did you actually did this calculation and how did you put into a calendar
Yeah.
yourself?
See, look, before starting something, your product is great, but there has to be a market.
Yeah.
What if there is no audience? What is the use of that great product, right?
Yeah.
So understanding the TAM, total addressable market, is very, very important, and you need to do your research. Go on Google and see who are all your competitors are, or especially me being the markets. I followed data from our stock exchanges. I took some data as to how many traders are there, how many investors in India are there, how many people trade in India, and in that I understood, okay, what might be the people who can start using the tool. So I started following some of our competitors. I was able to get their data.
Yeah.
Study. Very, very important. It's not only creating a great product, but you also need to understand go-to-market strategy. You need to have that strategy as to how you
I
going to
believe
go to
that's one
market.
of the important things, because many people who choose the SEO as their main channel, they keep saying that, yeah, if users search for it, but I don't sell something for that. Then why did you choose the SEO then? I mean, if they search for it, you have to have something for it in your business
Yeah.
plan at the beginning, not just after realizing that. And it also helps us to create actual topical map properly, because if you don't sell it, my document layout, my document entire content, internal, everything actually are shaped according to the business model that you have. It's not just rank for ranking. It's also we have to provide a value there so the search engine actually can keep on the SERP, or they will just remove us from there as well. And in one sentence, I want to ask both of you, what would you suggest these entrepreneurs who want to use SEO as their main primary source for traffic or conversions as well?
To all my competitors, I'll say, don't use SEO. Allow me to rank. I'll always be happy if you're not using SEO. If my competitors are not there on the using the SEO, good enough. Thank you so much. On a okay. To all my non-competitors, I would say just follow Koray.
Thank you very
You're
much.
done.
It means a lot. It means a
Yes,
lot.
and I mean it. I'm not saying this because today obviously after this interview they're going to check strike.money.
Thank you, brother.
And you'll see that. And this results is only because of this man. I'll owe it to him.
I
Koray,
also would like to tell that
wonderful guy.
Rita, Arjun, and you, and many other people, of course, there. I just made the launch and beginning, and I gave the education, and of
Yeah.
course, but the main success comes from people who say namaste in every meeting. I can tell. Okay, and Rita, what would you suggest to these entrepreneurs?
Yeah. So before you start any product building, I would suggest go into your competitor's website, purchase a Hrefs plan, and see how much traffic they are getting and for which keyword if they are getting. If you see their product is not aligned with that particular keyword, but they are still writing, exclude those topics and start with the keywords which directly relates to your product and create those pages. Then start building your topical maps for your top of the funnel contents. Your topical map should consist at least 100 to 200 topics before you start your website. If you don't do that, all your internal linking will be all over the place, and the canonicalization problem will also be there. So before you start building your topical map.
That's also one important thing. I remember that we dissolved the Google bot until everything was ready. I was explaining this to the James Tully actually after my CMSU speech with an interview. He was like shocked. Even if he follows me for years, he was like, really? Then he was saying that this was the first good knowledge bomb that I heard from you. And I want to ask this. Rita, do you remember the first moment that you met with Chavan? The first.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you know that actually you were coming to a company that will be changing your life, or you will be feeling like it will be your family?
No, I'll give you the details. So the first time I got interacted with someone is through LinkedIn. He was looking for a freelance SEO, and I was there. I did a simple technical SEO audit for his website, and after that we never spoke. Again, after 6 months, he suddenly remembered me, and we spoke. And we did another set of technical SEO audit for the same website because it never got implemented in the first place.
Yeah.
So after we did the second set of technical audit, he told me to start working on the content too. That time, topical map concept was not there in my mind. I was just posting about topics. We are seeing which competitor is posting what, and we are doing the same thing. But initially, we saw some results. So he offered me a full-time position at India Charts, and I joined. The first time I met in person is actually at his home. He called me directly to his home, and I never expected this, that VP of a company will call a employee at his home, and he actually let us stay in his home and made us beautiful food for us, very tasty food for us, and that's how. Actually, this is the reason we are still taking together. The humanity that he showed to us, this is the reason.
Wow. It's really, really different and also really unique, Chavan. Really, really good thing, actually. I mean, that's why maybe
really care
in Europe
about
it wouldn't
people.
happen, I can tell. It's something like I believe your culture has that intimate, sincere feelings really deeply. I always observe it actually in that geography overall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, very important is you stick together, belief, that is very important, and show the confidence and allow them to work. I'm sure as an entrepreneur, they're the ones who takes us forward. It's not me. I'll never take the credit for strike money growth. I'll always say that these are the people who are behind it. I've done that numerous times. So, and I truly believe that if Roy is not there, it's like, I feel as if I've lost something today, So
it was good that actually you called him to your home then.
yeah. Yes.
You can keep cooking then. I'm joking. Okay.
I can keep cooking, and the SEO will still be doing good. My revenues will still keep coming. That is the beauty of it.
And when did you hear about the Topical Authority the first time, Rita?
Basically, I read one of your blog on Crawl, I think.
Okay.
About the Topical Authority. And that time we are also looking for a consultant for our project because it was a big project. I was not sure whether I can handle it alone. So that time when I read about it and I searched your YouTube channels and your LinkedIn posts, and I knew that you were making some sense to me. And I then forwarded your profile to Chavan, and then he took over, and we basically set up meeting with you. But once we are in a meeting, we are completely sold. It was only a matter of budget. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, usually, unfortunately, I have some higher prices. I know it, but I try my best.
No, I'll not agree to this. Let me tell you, to whoever is watching this, he's so kind that when, as he told that we were burning money, in the end, we didn't had the money, and it was only this gentleman who told, don't worry about it, don't pay me, I have that special relationship, I'll work for you guys. And he continued. I cannot forget that, Koray. Let me be very honest, nobody will do it what you have done to us.
Thanks so much, brother.
I am genuinely touching my heart, and I'm saying this, Koray. Throughout my life, I'll never forgive those words, and you even, for months together, you did it for us, and I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
That's
Don't let me cry
greatest
here.
gesture. Yeah, that's the greatest gesture what I've ever got from someone. Nobody will work for free. You did it for months. When we were in trouble, you stood up to it. Let's
so
accept
much.
it.
Thank you. Really. I mean, usually I always say SEO is not SEO for me. It's a way of actually building friendships, like family relationships, helping people, and also building a community. I just see SEO actually as a bridge to the human's heart. That's the thing. And you have a really good heart. That's why actually I wanted to help there. Because from your eyes, both of you, I can see that you are good people. And I couldn't leave the project after seeing that. That's why I want to do that. And thank you for all of your kind words, brother. It means a lot to me, really. Okay. I mean, after your emotional speech, I already forgot my next question, to be honest. Thanks for making with that. But I believe I am in the question of, okay, that one I remember. So actually in the project, I created some templates for individual company stocks and individual company designs, but I guess the company didn't publish them yet. Am I right on that? What was
The company pages were published recently, actually.
recent?
Yeah, around 20 days back only we published the individual companies. But the structure, the template, it was very hard for us to follow because of one reason is that not all the data sets are available. In stock market, the data sets that are there is very different from the data set that we are getting from our stock exchange. So that's why we have to adjust little bit our questionnaires. We did it for the FAQ part of our company pages. I'll be happy to show you these things, but there is still a lot of work that has to be done. We made a mistake. We made the whole company pages into client side rendering. That we are changing it to server side rendering right now. That we will discuss. Yeah.
Yeah. See, look, mistakes keeps happening. You just need to make sure that you don't repeat the same mistakes. We just messed it up in the company pages. We just went live 20 days back, but we are on the job to rectify it so that this company pages is really going to take us our traffic very, very high. So we've been working very
company pages were like the most important section there. I would like to check it if I can actually to give some suggestions at least as much as
absolutely
I can.
We're going to school us. Trust me, if you look at it, we have messed it up. Let me be very honest, but yeah, we are on the job to improvise. But your feedback is almost most welcome. I mean, who else can give us a better feedback than you? Nobody else.
Thank you, brother. As a married man, usually lately at least I have less time, but I will be happy to do that always because after you marry, things start to change before you. Yeah, you know it.
Yes.
We were talking about
yes.
I was asking you questions like, how is it like? I remember that. Okay, and this question probably actually for Arjun and Rita most about how do you train the author, Rita? I mean, let's say the author keep doing the same mistake. Do you get angry or do you get frustrated? Or do you think that they do this mistake on purpose? Maybe you will give up from that rule? Or how do you check these articles?
Yeah, so definitely the article methodology that you have shared with us, it was very high level for our writers. So what we did, we sit with our editor and we little bit make it more friendly to the writers. Suppose the if statement, suppose the but statement, all these things, we actually went through line by line for each of the document. We took 10 writers in individual calls. For every 5 articles, we will tell them these are the mistakes that you are doing. Even after that, if they cannot rectify, then we had to let some of them go. Definitely, it took me around 8 to 9 months to actually implement 70% what you taught us. Still, we are not 100%. Yeah.
I mean, even I don't sometimes implement 100% to my own auditors. That's completely okay. I can tell that.
No, that is a main challenge. Yeah. Getting auditors right article writers is a major challenge wherever you go.
Yeah, it's a good system, but I mean, hiring them all together, showing them their mistakes and seeing the improvement there is a really good improvement. I also observed one thing actually. I believe Strike That Money until this recent publication, it didn't publish a new document, but still it kept increasing its rankings. Am I right on that?
No, we published new document, but on a separate node. So you know about /stock market folder. We created 3 more folders: /technical analysis, then option trading, then fundamental analysis. So at that time it was around 111 blogs. Currently we are sitting around 400 blogs. So we published around 300 topics more we have published.
Okay. And I also realized that your response time lately went up and it affected your daily crawl rate. What was the reason for that if it is not too private?
Cloudflare.
It was a Cloudflare issue, developer's mistake. server side rendering it messed up, but still it is around 200 millisecond right now. And
Right now it is at 155. Yeah.
yeah, as you say, below 120 milliseconds, we are working on that.
I suggest you to actually try to do the log file analysis to see that actually after you drop it again, I'm sure that Google crawls you more. And maybe you can try to see before these response time increase happens, what they were crawling, and after you fix what they are crawling, they might not match as is. Sometimes they change their crawl path based on it, and you can try to focus on these newly crawled sections or segments a little bit more. I always say, rather than what you fix, it's more important where Google actually looks at. So the logs are that, let's say, portal for us to their mind as much as possible. Okay.
Yeah.
And there are a few more questions. I will ask them as well. I believe this is one of my actually most sincere family-like actually interviews. That's why I'm very, as a host, I'm able to say that actually I am following the questions here. And I just want to ask this: what is the most complicated thing in my framework? Do you think, Rita? What is the hardest thing to comprehend for you in this case?
Article methodology. So in your article content brief column, first one is the headings, then second one is the heading hierarchy, third one is the methodology.
That methodology is really...
It was, yeah. So what was happening? The writers, they try to write their in own way, right?
Their own mind.
But but when I am giving them the first sentence to be written in some way, they are losing it. They are losing the whole point of writing that sentence. So there, that was the hardest part for us to teach them. Few things are very simple. Like if it is a yes or no answer, we have to start with that.
Yeah, it's true. I believe
those are very
methodology section, and lately because of the Google actually, that methodology is also about the function of the page and also layout of the page. It's not just text either. That's why a correlation between, or a kinds of coordination between designer, developer, and writer at the same time should be happening. And that methodology is actually talking to SEO. SEO talks to all these three departments to communicate with Google at the same time. That's the system, but it's... maybe I should also explain people how to structure the teams sometimes, but I'm sure that you are representing a great example for this obstacle already. Okay, and I want to ask this because I believe what we do in SEO is greatly correlating with the Saas business model. But how do you see the artificial intelligence is coming, AI overviews as well in the search engine result pages? And I can, with a high confidence, I say this already, but any website which leverages actually Topical Authority and semantics, they will be ranking higher in AI overviews because it's already about semantics currently. But what do you think about this? Do you use AI for writing any document, or do you use AI in any other way, or are you concerned for Saas overall? So there are two questions actually. This one is for Chavan. Do you think that actually AI can blockade some of the SaaS industries? And for Rita, I'm asking actually, do you think that AI can be integrated to your document creation methodology while also, let's say, making things sometimes harder as well? And do you think that AI overviews are connected to what we do? Let's start from Chavan first, then we can go with the SEO section.
Well, definitely I do agree that AI is going to hit the SaaS industry going forward. And we are prepared for it. It's not that we have not worked on it. We are working on something on. Unfortunately, I can't reveal it here, but we are working on something on AI for the strike tool itself. Which nobody in India at least have done it. At least in the retail space have done it. And that is where we are trying to keep ourselves upgraded. Not to ignore, because AI is a revolutionary thing right now. And definitely I feel, going forward, things are going to happen quick and fast. It's already happening very quick and fast. It's going to definitely it's going to be a replacement, but you need to be up to the mark. It's very important that you keep yourselves upgraded. So we have already started working on it, and it's something which nobody has done it in India, at least. I don't know on the US markets. By the way, we are getting into US markets in 2026, 25, 26. So right now we are focusing on the Indian market. So Right now in India, nobody has done it, so we have a first mover advantage, and we are going to implement this in the next 3 months.
I believe my site is already, but two things actually. I said this in SEO Master Summit stage as well. Make your website speaking. That's one of the things. And the second thing there is actually, you can also create maybe AI insights for trading in a way. And it wouldn't be that, maybe you're already doing it. I assume already in your plan. Do you organize any chatbot based on your knowledge base to verbalize all of your knowledge based on the questions of users? Do you have any plan for it?
Right now, we don't have plan for it, but we are very close to implementing something where you get the entire knowledge on the markets through AI. Any kind of data, any kind of permutation combinations you want to put, you will be getting it, which nobody in India at least have done it. So we are working very closely. Yeah.
Actually, what he is saying is that instead of chatbot, we are actually creating a section in our tool where, based on our data, you can ask for trading advice or trading related things.
Yeah.
So it is just not look like chatbot, but it is functioning same as what you were thinking, like the custom database you were training your data model, so that the user will get answer from your system only. Yeah.
You can create your own screens as you wish. All you need to do is type. Yeah.
That's really good.
So that is
really good system. And from SEO point of view, Rita, do you remember the question? Shall I repeat?
No, I remember. So there are two ways we are utilizing the SEO part. One, to remove fluffy, unnecessary sentences from our document. So we have been following you, and you were talking about AI agents, right? So we also created our AI agents. So through that agent, what we are doing after they have written everything, we are telling the AI agent to find the information gap in our content. Suppose we are stating something, we are stating a fact. What is the source out of it? From which source we are telling that this is the percentage rate or this is the success rate of a certain thing. So that is one way we are doing. Second, we are trimming our content through AI. We are telling that, yeah, these are the sentence. If you remove, will that change the meaning of the current paragraph? If it doesn't, then we will remove the sentence. Then the third thing is that we are checking the query responsiveness and the other topical responsiveness, everything through our AI agent. We created the comment, basically we copied from you, and we have seen that what are the other terms that we can make the AI agent understand. And based on that, we are not only creating our content, but also we are creating our content brief too. So that any query that competitors are missing, I am not missing, because everything is processed in that similar manner.
You are unstoppable, I can tell it, Rita. I mean, yeah, I wait the moment that actually you go into the US market to educate your competitors, actually. They will be surprised, I'm sure, about that. It's a really, really good thing, actually. And that's why I believe you should go on the stage to show some examples to people to enlighten them. It's a really good thing. And about AI overviews, do you think that actually what you do or what we do all together is related to the AI answers that Google creates or Bing creates?
Of course, the same verb that we are using in our first of the sentence of a question, that is the main point. Second one, giving a direct answer, not delaying the answer. All these things comes into play before ChatGPT was even introduced. That time you taught us this thing,
Yeah.
and blindly we followed, thankfully, and now we are seeing the results. Now Gemini and in other AI overviews, we can see that some of our answers are coming up.
Really great.
So yeah,
Really great to see that, because all this content is created pre-Gemini and pre-ChatGPT, and they are ranking instead of AI generated content. The human created or crafted content is ranking on the AI answers. That's one of the good separations
yeah.
there, in my opinion.
And we took one advice very seriously. So you shared screenshot from Google Quality Data Guidelines that there should be a human effort in every document.
Yes.
We made sure that human effort is more than 70% of the whole document. AI should contribute not more than 30% of the information of the page.
Really great,
So
actually.
we stick to the rules. Let's see how it plays out in the future.
It's really great to see and hear this, actually, Rita. I'm sure that actually the community already keeps writing like 70 this, 30 this. I'm sure that they are learning right now. And how do you balance actually updating old content and publishing new ones? What type of an SOP or system do you have for that?
Yeah, so our content team is very small. That is one of the first challenge. We are actually three writer team. Sometimes it is coming down to one also because all are freelancers. So what we do, we see what our existing page are, which are our top performing page, and see what are the top keyword for that particular page and their search volume. If we see a particular keyword, we are not ranking anywhere, but it has a high search volume, we try to focus on that existing content. So we divided our content into 60-40 rule. 60% effort goes to the new content generation. 40% content comes from our older content updation. So that's how we create our goals. Yeah.
Really, really good actually. And when you need to update a document, what type of KPIs you check there? Just the publication date, or maybe some loss in the impressions, or new queries are coming? Do you have this type of a checklist?
Correct. So if you see our Hrefs data, you will see all of them are coming under major overhaul. So what we do, we try to build it from scratch. One of the content, suppose how many types of candlestick patterns were there.
Yeah.
So previously it was 12. Now we increased it to 40. That same content page, which was ranking on 8, now it is ranking on number 2. It is even before Wikipedia. So the thing that we check is query counting, how many queries we are ranking for that particular
Nice.
thing, what information gap that is missing from our competitor, and what extra data that we are providing, which none of the top 20 competitors have on their web page.
So that's the thing. You don't
That's
imitate the SERP. You basically recreate the SERP. That's
correct.
one of the things there. Yeah. And when you do these checks, I'm sure that actually you have some SOPs to manage the people there. Do you distribute these tasks to some different teammates, like, or do you do all of them by yourself as a superhuman?
Unfortunately, in our SEO team, you won't believe, I am the only one who is working full time.
Then definitely you are coming to the stage. I must tell that.
We we have another guy who build backlinks and publishing for us. The rest, all of them are writers. So we had to go slowly because of this. So we are publishing slowly, but we are making sure everything comes into quality.
Yeah, yeah. And when it comes to the, let's say, updating these documents, do you observe something like this? If a document drops in the rankings, is connected document is also indirectly affected from that? Or do you rank completely independently from each other?
First point only. So when we ranked the first content called a number of candlestick patterns, we have seen all the candlestick pattern that we have ranked for mentioned in the document. They also got increased in ranking. So they started to getting more traffic even though we didn't do anything. So definitely all of them are correlated. If you see our Hrefs graph right now,
I
the
see.
first article that yeah, so the first article that we are ranking for is types of candlestick pattern, and the third one is called doji. Doji is actually a type of candlestick pattern. So we mentioned doji in our first content, and now this content is also giving us 4,500 monthly traffic.
Yeah, and also it's actually based on what I said. Types is the most important attribute. Any historical data that you get from there will be keep supporting everything else. That's why it's also affecting it. Because sometimes I say people this too. They say me that I want to rank for this query with this page, but to make that page to rank with that query, I need to actually optimize all the other pages that is around it, which is connected to all of them. And
Yeah.
sometimes they still try to go with the old mindset or old traditional ways. One query, one page, but then go with the PPC, not with the SEO that much on that case, like you said. So one unique side of this interview is that it's not just happening actually between very friendly people, like family-like, but also, in my opinion, we talk about SEO and investment and also business management at the same time with two successful people and really great concrete examples in this area. That's why from an SEO point of view, one more time, I will go to the business point. How do you actually value a Saas, Chavan? For example, I believe you have a target number based on your audience research. It might be private, you don't have to say it. But what is your methodology to value a Saas, and how do you talk with this value to an investor? Because I believe investor will just check the balance sheet, and they will check the calendar, they will check the market, and they will have a kind of number in their mind. And as a great negotiator, I am sure that you already know what they will think and what you will be telling them as a counter argument, at least I assume. And in this case, how do you, let's say, create these arguments, or how do you value these SaaSes? For example, if I want to buy a SaaS, how should I value it? Based on what metrics, what components?
See, it all depends on what is the demand, for that product, and once you, okay, so there is a TAM, total addressable market. So in that, how many people are you going to reach out? Okay, so you put this projections. Okay, you cannot reach out. So say like there are 10 million people who are trading and investing in India, for example. You can't reach out to all the 10 million, will never be your customers. So what will be your, to how many people are you going to reach out? What is your GTM? Once you say what is my GTM, and then once I give this figures saying that, okay, this will be my target audience and this many people I'm going to reach out, and this will be my cash flows, say like projections. First year I'm going to do this much, second year, third year, and that is how you arrive to the valuations, and that is how you convince the investors, but totally you need to have a market for any product.
Okay, if a SaaS currently makes, let's say, X amount of money annually, what would its value be? Like 40x, do you think, to purchase?
Oh, no, 40x is too much. The maximum what you can ask on the revenues is like 5x.
5x.
Especially in
Based
India
on revenue
at
or
least.
based on profit?
It is unfortunately in India right now, the startup culture has become so much that on the revenues they have started. It's
Okay.
not on the profits.
And do you think that having, let's say, the revenue
Early valuation, at the valuation, but once you want to get it listed in the stock exchange, it has to be on the profits. It's not on the
Yeah,
revenues.
it's true, of
So
course.
initially, so once you're getting the VCs or investors onboarded, usually in India, I don't know about abroad, they look at, okay, what is your revenues? What might be your potential revenues in the next 3 years? So based on that, you arrive to the valuation, and then you get the investors onboarded. But now, after 4 years, 5 years, if I decided to get it listed in the markets, in the stock exchange, if I grow that big and I want to get it listed, it's purely based on the profits.
Okay. I believe that's also smart because all your customers are already trader, and if you're in the stock exchange, they already, I mean, if they pay you, they will be happy to also pay through the stock exchange as well. I mean, it will be like a double trade in this case, at least trade in trading, I can tell. So I understand the valuation section a little bit now, but I want to ask this. For example, your total amount of traffic, your total newsletter, your, let's say, Facebook Meta pixel data, or your social media accounts, do these things also help for increasing valuation? Because they might want to use your company for media, like for exposure for other products, at least I am thinking. Is it something that they are interested in?
They'll also look at your brand image as a promoter. Okay, what is your brand image? That also matters the most. How many followers you are having, how many followers you're having, what has been your media presence, all these things does matter.
Did they also?
And also your, what matters the most is your how do you project yourself, in the sense like, what is your ultimate dream? What do you want to make it? How big you want to make this? It's like a combination of many things what matters.
And when you explain all these things to an investor, let's say with what percentage successfully they invest in? For example, for one investment, how many investors you should talk? Like 100?
I don't know this, but we got rejections. It's not that, I mean, the rejections is going to be massive. They're going to ask you all sorts of questions and everything. They're going to dig very deep because it's their hard-earned money, and they want to put their money in the right place, of course. Yeah.
Rejection rate is really high. But how do you find these investors in this case? Like, do they have a club or cafe, restaurant that they go always, or there is a network?
There are everything, We have something called as VCs, venture capitalists over here. We have angel investors. We have individual investors. All sorts of people are there in India right now. For a VC, you need to have something really big to show them, then only they're going to invest, because they're not going to invest smaller money. They look at millions, millions of dollars of investment. So
just for saying, I just check sometimes Sequoia and some other VCs and their investment portfolio, and I keep seeing that all their new investments have the word AI in their names. Do you think that there is also a psychology point? They don't just check this balance sheet or other things. They also get some, let's say, shiny things in the name or logo. Do you think that also affects sometimes?
AI has been the hottest thing now. Whoever is in the AI, they're getting funded. Let me be very honest. I mean, most of the things what I see on LinkedIn, at least, or when I keep researching, most of them who are in AI, they're getting funded. They're definitely getting funded.
And
Yeah.
in this case, the naming also matters too, I guess. Like putting the word AI to your name affects the
AI.
VC
Dot AI.
decisions. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that AI.
So nowadays, everyone have started to put that .ai wordings in their websites and everything. So
Okay.
I'm seeing that. But most of the AI companies, are they profitable? I don't know. They're not.
That's the thing. I just thought that, okay, these guys are very rational. They research everything. They listen. They usually reject, but also they keep approving all these AI named companies, even if they're not about AI. Maybe I don't know, because
Yeah,
people
yeah.
from Sequoia, I keep seeing them, and some of these companies do very simple stuff. Like there was one just for AI calendar manager. It was getting investment, but I can manage it. I mean, it's just you just sent me actually something. That AI is not needed there that much. And even
Yes,
actually,
absolutely.
they investing in it. I mean, I was finding it interesting, and
See, getting the valuations for a AI-driven company, and getting the exit for investors is little easier, especially when AI is ruling the world. Everywhere there is AI discussion going on. You attend any forum, there's a discussion on, is the AI going to kill the jobs? What AI can do? This has really helped these founders, putting the .ai and then raising the funds.
yeah.
And even for the investors, they might get an easy exit, initially. But
And
ultimately, the company should learn to make profits also. It's not about only burning.
of course,
I don't know.
of
Yeah.
course,
I mean, tomorrow, if there's the economic downtrend, every investor is going to
be
uh,
more, let's say, conservative to spend money.
very
Yeah.
conservative, and then the people who are burning at a very higher rate, they're going to shut down.
Yeah. And I just want to learn this too. The presentation. Usually you go to an investor with a PowerPoint or with a concrete file. And should we wear a suit? I just want to learn these concrete things too. These are very simple questions, but you're a
Yeah.
successful fundraiser, and many SEOs, they have ideas and they have talent to rank a website, and maybe they will be able to create products thanks to AI in the future with AI agent orchestration, as I said in the SEO Masterclass Summit stage 2, but they don't have any experience for fundraising. It's something entirely new. How they should wear, smell, or whether should they bring actually any projection machine or PowerPoint slide or concrete file. Can you explain this angle a little bit too? The physical
Uh,
angles.
See, when I raised my funds, honestly speaking, it was only through a PPT, and I showed them the demo of the product. What they should wear and all, it all depends on what they want to wear. It's not this one. But you need to be very clear with your numbers. You need to be very clear as to what you're doing, what is your present numbers, every bit of thing, what is happening. Usually all these investors cares a lot on whether the things, your numbers, especially the numbers. That is very, very crucial. They have to be very, very precise, and ultimately it all boils down to how much how passionate you are, and how good the product is, and whether there is a market for it.
Okay.
So these are some of the 4 5 important things, but be very clear with what you are speaking. And ultimately it all boils down to your passion, how much passionate you are about your thing, what you're doing, and that itself will start speaking in the meeting. And every VCs or whoever, they'll be able to gauge it.
Okay.
Definitely they'll be able to gauge it. But one thing very important is know your numbers.
Okay, knowing the numbers and demonstrating them clearly and certainty
Yeah.
is the most
Yeah.
important section. And when it comes to the clothes, it doesn't matter that much, I guess. For example, would you go to a VC meeting with shorts and with just a simple flip
Oh,
flop?
no, I mean, it all depends. I mean, we had a lot of rejections. We in my funding, I couldn't get a VC funded. Let me be very honest. It's the angel investors funding what I've got, individual investors and angel investors. But the big VCs I couldn't get. I couldn't crack it. It's very difficult, especially in India.
Maybe you need more
Uh,
network for that. Is it true, do you think? Moving people?
yes, more networking, and you need to show very big numbers, which didn't wanted to show. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. That has been my belief. Even I care for my investors.
I also invested a company in US actually for credit cards and finance, and the main reason was actually again networking, to be honest. And they gave me a very advantageous number because of the SEO advantage that I was providing for them. And I was being a bit more convinced when I learned that actually some companies like Moneta Capital, for instance, some VCs actually invested in already, and I was thinking, okay, these guys can't be stupid. Sometimes it also affects, in my opinion. And I think another thing is that it opens a really good actually networking opportunities when you go into these things.
There one instance what you are going to also face. I'll tell you. We got a call saying that we are interested. It was from a very, very big VC house, very big. Okay. I can't name it. And immediately leaving all the work, we were in Delhi, which is the capital of India. We had to rush to Bangalore. We took that 3.5 hours flight, I and my founder, Rohit. And next day morning, we are there. And the moment we entered, it's like the office is so big and everything. And there are like 3 guys, VCs. The managers are sitting there. The moment we sat there, in 5 minutes, they said, sorry, we are not interested. They didn't even ask a single question. They just asked us what you're doing. We just told we are doing this. And in 3 minutes, they said, okay, we'll get back to you.
Okay, they never waste time then in this case. They are very clear on this, or?
I don't know. They didn't even ask us any questions. We have faced even this kind of things. So you don't need to get demotivated. That is what I'm trying to say. Keep trying.
Yeah, that requires a really good, resilient character, in my opinion. Like the very like iron,
iron. Yeah, you need to have that resilience, patience. Keep trying.
I believe not taking these rejections personal too. I mean, none of them actually. Yeah,
it's part and parcel of building. I mean, if you have enough money, if you want to be bootstrapped, fine enough. But if you want funding, have patience, because it's their hard-earned money. It's not that they just want to give it to you. Understand this also.
That's also one important thing as well that I observe on you, actually. You have a really strong empathy. I mean, when you are rejected, you don't think like, okay, they don't understand. They are, let's say this, but you actually get it from their angle. Then you actually look at the situation from there.
Yes,
I believe it's the most important character trait.
Imagine you are a VC. It's your hard-earned money. You know that you want to put the money with the right person. So you can't keep on blaming them. You need to understand their point of view also. So rejections is going to be a part and parcel. Move on, keep trying, but stay focused. Don't give up.
And how do you manage the legal side, Chavan? For example, all the legal regulations, lawyers, do they differ from investor to investor, or do you force?
In my case, it has not differed because they were angel investors. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure about this. I cannot speak because the big guys have not invested, like Sequoia Capital and all. None of the big guys in India have invested in us. Yeah, it's all like angel investors. So the legal side, I couldn't face any issues.
Okay, that's good to know. Do you have any catchy phrase for convincing investors? Like at the end of the presentation, catchy phrases, like the jokes or some funny statements or a dance show. I'm joking, of course.
But it all depends on how the meeting went on. Once you get that feeling, yeah, probably you can show the funny side, but I don't know. I didn't show. I was too nervous, obviously. Most of the meetings, I was too nervous to even joke because you never know how they'll take it. So rather shut up, do your business, speak what you want to. Show them. That's it. End it over there. Okay. And once they do the investment, then definitely you can go out for a lunch and develop the friendship. Yeah.
How do you handle the reporting schedules? For example, do you report them every quarter, or do they add extra stress? Every month.
Every month. Yes.
Face to face.
Absolutely. One thing is respect them because they have invested in your business. Showing them immense respect is very important. I truly believe in taking not only my team members forward, but also my investors forward. They also should make money. God's grace, they should also make money through my product, right? So I keep them upgraded because I have this automation. I have a good CRM. So giving them the numbers is just like 2 minutes. I can just download the report now. I can shoot them the email. But once in a quarter, I do have these meetings with all of them. But reporting is done every month.
Does it, just a private question, you don't have to answer, does it add extra stress normally, or is it just casual thing? How, for example, do these meetings take like 1 hour, 2 hours, all day, do you think? I'm just asking this, creating an empathy with, because some audience might wonder it.
It all depends on how much they want to dig deep. It depends from investor to investor. Some investor, if he is not happy, he likes to dig deep. And that team, it goes on for hours. My last physical meet with the investors was in, say, like 3 months back. It took like 1.5 hours.
Nice.
Actually, 1.5 2 hours. And there were like there were like 4 or 5 investors who started asking every question, every which way, right from our product.
One time actually, a company that I actually helped in the past, it is sold successfully. I can say the number, but it made really good money. It is njazip.com. We help for SEO, and again, we use semantic SEO and overall holistic SEO. And I'm happy to see that another Saas actually has been sold successfully. I remember because I was also presenting SEO site to the investors, and the investor was from actually UK throne list, like very, let's say, noble, like a prince in UK. And I remember that actually one time they asked, how much money do you spend on coffee? Like they were calculating the coffee money of employees.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and also the company actually was making money, and there wasn't any bootstrap, but they were asking it, and it's just coffee to me. I mean, it was coffee. Why do you ask this? But at the same time, I saw the company owner, and he was taking it to the serious. He was explaining, and he was putting, let's say, just the numbers regularly. Then I understood that, okay, these things actually have a very different social and psychological norms. Maybe not normal for me, but it is very normal for them, and they are okay to talk about it. And maybe I should change my perspective. That's why I'm asking these questions too, because I know that investors are different, even if they are prince, and they keep asking very different things in this case. So, and also it might be sometimes stressful, but I believe stress is just sign of growth, and we should be comfortable with it. It's okay for people to ask about the future of their money, and we should understand and respect for that. Okay.
Absolutely.
And let me just check some sections. I will come back to the SEO point. The interview actually is probably will be like a school for many SEOs who looks for creating a SaaS in the future. And for Rita and also for you too, do you think that SEO brings more return of investment compared to the PPC or other marketing channels?
100%. I would agree for it. My numbers is there with me right in front of it, because we have the CRM tool. I know I keep a track on every rupee spent on SEO, every rupee spent on PPC ads, or every rupee spent on social media. So I know what is the return on investment, what I'm getting through SEO alone, return on investment through social media, return on investment through PPC. In my business, I can say SEO has been the best, PPC has been the not so good, so we stopped. We don't do any kind of performance marketing now. Thanks to SEO, thanks to our social media, we are doing good now. We don't require performance marketing at this point. We don't believe in burning money. We are a little conservative in that way. We don't want to go that way of burning huge money just to acquire customers. We want to build a very strong, fundamentally strong company. That is what we truly believe. So that is where we are working on.
Have to know that. And I believe it is also happening from multiple layers too, because someone comes with SEO, then they start to come directly, then they start typing your brand name to the Google. It also shows an authority there, and PPC can't do it that much in my opinion. I mean, it will be burning money in this case, but SEO creates a long-term permanent value. I believe that's the main difference in that area.
Absolutely.
The problem in finance is that every keyword has a very high CPC. The same CPC, if I try to compete to acquire one customer, it will be huge cost if I don't do it through SEO. So that's the reason I think we are not very successful in terms of CPC. If the CPC was less, I think it might be a different story for us. But
finance is a big niche in India. It's a very competitive niche.
Yeah. And in this case, actually, you know your customer lifetime value. You have acquisition cost per customer. then basically you are doing an overall calculation to see actually how maybe I am interrupted, but I will just repeat that section. Editor can handle it later.
Yeah.
But basically, when you know actual customer lifetime value and acquisition cost per customer, and when you are able to actually project the SEO traffic with a conversion number, I guess then the things actually get more concrete for you to actually scale it from financial point of view as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can tell you guys, I finished all of the questions. I checked it directly, and this is already like 90 minutes of interview. I believe this is a very good actual school from understanding actually raising funds, educating teams, understanding Google, organizing a team, and implementing semantic SEO and overall holistic SEO with advanced SEO concepts from CEO level to the author level or to the even VA level. And then also using SEO traffic to convince investors, bring more funds, and using that fund to create more revenue and more profit, and having a kind of overall projection one more time. And also we learned that you should be cooking for your teammates. You should invite them. You shouldn't wear a shorts for going to the investor speech, and you shouldn't wear a flip-flop. We also learned that. And also, I mean, this is probably one of the strongest interviews I have ever done, and this is like the second time I am actually doing it after the Svalbard. Maybe in the future we can even add a few lectures to the course to explain some sections without deep diving, but just for helping people in the future. I am serious. I am expecting you on this pool together, including Arjun. And you
Mark my calendar. I'm going to be there.
And you both are invited to Istanbul for stage. I believe you should explain these things, this business angle and this SEO angle with all the transparency. I mean, you kept everything transparent. You never said that actually I can't answer that. You explained everything as is. That's something that in the SEO industry people usually avoid, and that's the thing that I don't like. And again, on this thumbnail, even if you have a really rich investment right now and asset, I won't putting these shocking faces or dollars around. It will be very honest, decent, and humble thumbnail, and a humble and honest, family-like actually conversation. I can tell. I am thankful that actually you kept going and you succeeded and you came here to explain it to the world. Thank you for that. Thanks.
Yeah, we thank you.
Everything to you, Koray. You know, Mark my. I'm not a person who is going to convince, right? I'm being very, very upfront and very clear. We owe it to you. SEO success, definitely we owe it to you.
Thanks so much.
You know,
it means a lot.
You are the best what we have ever come across.
Thank you.
You are the best what happened to us building this product. You know, we are highly grateful to you, Koray, and whatever you have done, trust me, nobody has done it to us.
Thanks so
you
much.
know, especially in those difficult times, you stood with us, you helped us. Ever grateful to you, and I only pray God that you should always find good health and grow the same way what you have been growing now.
So much,
and of course, thank you for making us famous now. I mean, we are on the podcast with the most famous man in the SEO world. What can I ask for? I'm famous now.
Thank you, Chavan.
Yeah.
Same thing for me, Koray. Yeah.
Thank you, Ritadeep.
I also like to say that what I have learned by seeing your videos and being in meetings with you during the launch of Strike, those were eye-opening. And whatever we did today, and my writers team, they hugely owe it to you because of your guidelines. And we continue to learn from you through your classes and your YouTube channels. Yeah.
Thanks so much, brother. It really means a lot to me. I mean, as I say, when I see really sincere, transparent, good people, I can't say no. I will keep going, of course. Maybe just marrying sometimes makes me, let's say, in the bootstrap, but overall, I am the same me. I can tell. Okay, then usually,
I'm excited to meet you. We should meet. I'm going to be there in September.
I already feel like actually I saw you guys in my real life. I mean, I literally feel it actually, definitely, and. I will prepare the pool and everything, and every type of, let's say, smoothie. By the way, I already have actually a Krishna in my home right now. Yeah, it's just there actually. Suresh Kumar Gondi actually gifted it by saying that it will be helping you. and it's just there looking at me. And I'm sure that you will find many other things. I have biography of Gandhi, in my library as well. We share many things. And that's why actually I want to say, we're ending our meetings by saying namaste. Maybe we can do it at the same time, one more time to end this interview.
Yes.
Okay? 1, 2, 3.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
You're welcome, brother.
Nice meeting you.
Definitely. And I believe this is definitely my most sincere interview, and definitely the best interview as well. I mean, the business and the SEO at the same time together. It's not something actually you can find somewhere else, Chavan. It's like, it's really valuable for people. I'm sure that you will be changing the angles of most people. And maybe I will also add directly to this even to the course for people, because it's directly coming from our community and it will be helpful for everyone. And it was a really long one. Sorry for actually taking a long time from your Saturday, but I hope it will work to mark this moment all together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Love you. Yeah.
Love you.
Thank you.
Namaste, and see you the next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.